You are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire youth wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean Paul Leek.
Together we are
Rope
Robert
Break.
and family. One more time live, just a few more minutes after the show was over. NXT Takeover Vengeance Day. For the ones like there's our Valentine's gift, like treat a great pay-per-view. NXT one more time reminded us why they are the supreme brand in the WWE. All these weeks, we've been complaining it's not cool anymore, writers and all of that. But I feel that Takeover always keeps the essence, and they give you enough time to develop the story, the matches. So we had a really good show.
Yeah, Takeover always delivers. I think the last time a Takeover really to me felt like a little bit like a little bullshit was a Halloween Havoc with like the zombies coming out and all that with Cameron Grimes. But besides that, like you said, Takeover always reminds you, no, NXT can be legit. We just choose every Wednesdays from 8 to 10 to kind of give bullshit. But we're not here on Wednesday. We're here on a Sunday. You know what I mean? So this was good wrestling.
Good wrestling. So thank you so very much to everybody that is helping us out to grow this initiative, this dream that we have of Rope Break. Thank you to everybody that subscribed, that gives a comment. And don't forget to give a like to the video, and also for the new ones that are just checking us out, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. We love every single one that checking us out, and we want more people to just join to our family. So don't forget to check this video out. We did it we've been in a triple threat action, all Friday, Saturday, and Sunday live. We had No Surrender from Impact, Moose runs like a Tommy Dreamer Swan song. Really nice pay-per-view also. A little too long. This is the one thing that I got to say. NXT did such a much better job because a lot shorter and more enjoyable because it's at least 2.5 hours rather than almost 3.5.
Yeah, this show was great. It was a Tommy Dreamer send-off. We don't know. He told a great story in the main event match with Rich Swann. Like you said, Moose came out and ruined it. We also saw, the X Division. I believe they called it a triple threat revolver match.
Yeah.
And that was a really good match. I thought, probably the best action that we saw all night. But like you said, way too many matches, at least 2 or 3 of them. Could have been safe for Impact TV, but to hear our full thoughts, go check out the review.
Check the review, because right now we're just going to focus on Valentine's Day. No, not Valentine's Day. What is NXT Takeover Vengeance Day? Vengeance Day opened up with the finals of the Dusty Classic Cup on the women's side, first time ever. So, we're going to get 2 brand new winners, never seen before yet. Amber Moon with Shotzi Blackheart going against Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. This was a pretty good match, a pretty good start of the show. I think that Gonzalez and Kai, they've been attacked him way longer than Ember Moon and Shotzi. So they had the advantage on that, and they gave us a pretty good match. Gonzalez right now, she's on fire. I really hope that after this, she becomes number 1 contender, or maybe she wins the tag titles and also the NXT Women's Championship. Raquel Gonzalez, her performances every single time that I see her is better and better and better. Intensity, violence, impactfulness, everything is just good from this girl. And Dakota Kai is a good sidekick for what it is. And actually you will think that it should be the other way around, but now Raquel is the leading woman from this team.
Oh yeah, and you could easily make the Diesel and Shawn comparisons. I feel like I've made that before in the past, so that's kind of the vibe I get from this. But like you said, Raquel she's the main woman who they push, but it's Dakota's maybe the mouthpiece or but I really don't even feel that anymore. I do agree with you. I think the tone has shifted where it's Dakota's the sidekick now. Yeah. She, just the smaller, not, less effective sidekick, but she's still the sidekick. But I guess that's what sidekicks is. That would be Robin is better than Batman, which you're never going to see. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, this was, a good opening match. And I think this was the right spot for it, since it was probably the match that, it was going to be exciting, but it didn't have the most, intensity build, but so it's let's just have it on first. But the baby faces look really good in this. I think Ember Moon, she thrives at TakeOver. She looked good. And even Shotzi stepped up. I thought this was, pretty good.
Oh yeah, and at the beginning, Raquel had the upper hand, they dominated. Of course, Raquel is the favorite woman, so that's why she's gonna have more of the dominance over the other 2. But I want to say hi to Pato. Pato is here always watching, so thank you. Hola Pato, muchas gracias por ver el review. Así que this was a really, really good match. The one thing,
and who did Raquel throw off? Because they had the ramp, sometimes AEW, the ramp goes right
Amber
to the
Moon.
apron. Yeah, Ember Moon. Yeah, so I mean, just Raquel, like you said, making that early the statement, I'm the most dominant woman in this ring, and she's trying to make the statement that she's the most dominant on this brand.
Oh yeah, and the one thing, they also played a little bit of the old school mentality of tag team wrestling, because at some point, the Ember Moon did the tag onto like Shotzi, but the referee didn't see it. So that's one of the things that I like, because they kept it like old school. Remember the old tag team, like when they tell the story. So it
Yeah.
was a good match, and it was long. It was around 20 minutes. So I did enjoy that. And like you said, like Dakota Kai kind of like didn't look as good, but like that's because we mentioned once again, that's not her role anymore. She doesn't have to lead the team. Now is
Yeah.
Raquel. She's the powerhouse. She's the force of the team. So I like that.
Yeah, this was good, and I actually liked the spot on the outside. They almost have her set up. I thought Ember Moon was going to do the Eclipse on the outside. Shotzi kind of had her in like the Doomsday Device position, and Ember jumps off. She takes out, Dakota Kai. So I mean, and Dakota actually sold it. It wasn't like sometimes when they take those big moves and then they get back up and like 5 seconds later. But I mean, this was legit stuff. And like you have that dive, that wasn't
Right
as
there,
bad
yeah.
as that wasn't
we
as
got everything. You got
that wasn't as bad as a Carmella dive, but Shotzi did come, or not Carmella's, Dominic Mysterio's, but Shotzi did come close to headbutting that announce desk, which we
you can
would
see
see
the
fall
distance
apart
right there,
later.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the distance right there. So like
Yeah.
you said, but at least a little bit more impactful, right? Remember, like,
Oh, yeah.
like a little bit like Darby Allin, not like the ones that Rollins, or like you
Yeah.
said, Carmella. Even I will say, and this is not talking any crap, but like even Candice is not really great at when she delivers those. There's
Oh,
a little
no.
like it's slow motion and stuff, but everybody has their own style to deliver the suicide dive. But at least Shotzi didn't injure herself, so that's good. And like you said, there was a lot of times that like Shotzi and Ember Moon could have won the match. But like I feel that the right winner was always in the team of Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. Why? Because these two, again, they've been a team for the longest time. And what is this tournament? It's about teams. So like not teams that it's put together in like, oh, we have a tournament. Oh yeah, Jean Paul, you want to be a team? No. We've been a team for like 2.5 years already. So that's why we got to see the chokeslam power bomb combination, boom. And then also like Dakota, like also helped Raquel for the pin right there. 1, 2, 3, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez become the first Dusty Classic Cup winners on the women's side, and like we mentioned, is the right winner. This
Now I know you can't hide emotion because obviously they're not heels in real life. Like these two women aren't assholes. They don't just beat people up. Say they're better than everybody. So they couldn't hide the emotion. But like it's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I do feel happy for them, and like that's awesome because you can see it on their face. They're not like standing there like heels, like, oh, we're better than all yous. They won it, and they're all like, that's legit. This was good.
I agree with you. And like they're gonna get like their tag team opportunity for the tag titles. With like Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Nia Jax sent a tweet saying, "Oh, I don't even want to deal with these girls." But like you said, this is the right winners. William Regal is excited. A little justice of Dakota Kai. She's been part of NXT way too long. And this version of Raquel Gonzalez, this is actually almost close to a year that they've been a team. Remember when like she showed up first against like Tegan Knox? And then like she started helping out Dakota. So finally they get some kind of retribution. And we're not talking about Monday Night Raw. So good stuff. I really like it.
No, not yet.
No, yeah. No, Monday Night Raw tomorrow. Even with it could be Jean Paul or myself or the both of us. You never know, but it always delivers. Raw break is like, is it Jean Paul or myself? Is the same quality, the same love, and the same intensity.
And to touch on what you said for the tag titles, I'm really hoping that they get brought to NXT and then they stay there in NXT for a while.
Yeah, no, that's what they have to do. I really hope. Don't you think, like, you give the titles to people from NXT? That's never been done, and then they can start defending.
Because even though she's in a little bit of hot water right now, I don't think it'll last. But Casey Catanzaro, Kaden Carter, that would be a tag team to go against these heels. You have even the rematch Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. If you want to keep them a team, whatever, you have the options. To have the belts on NXT, I think a lot better than the main roster.
It will be better, yes. So like, let's go now to the next match, and I think the best match of the night. You cannot even say his name. Kushida, challenging Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship. Absolutely the match of the night. These two guys show why wrestling is what it is. It's such a beautiful sport, like Matt Striker. Let me just reiterate, Matt Striker is what can you say? This is not a sport. You need to call it a sport because these two guys gave us a clinic. I really think that they gave us a clinic. The best match that I ever seen Kushida in the WWE, I'm saying. I'm saying New Japan, but right now. What a beautiful 35 minutes of a match.
Oh, this was like you said, there's as great as the main event was, that they were probably sitting in the back going like, God damn it. And they were like, really? Like, we got to compete against this match. Yeah. Like, really?
We got to top this one.
Yeah. But I mean, this was great. I mean, obviously I didn't like the winner, because I feel, which I'll get into when we, talk about the ending, but just everything in this match was so great. Kushida and Johnny Gargano. But the one thing with Gargano, though, like if you forget the storyline and you're just watching this match, like let's say it's just in a tournament or whatever, there's no storyline, no feud. that makes it even better because Gargano's a heel. And he wrestles like a baby face. I don't care what, like, unless he's going to punch you in the balls or do like an actual heel tactic, he doesn't wrestle like a heel. He wrestles like Johnny Gargano, and Johnny Gargano, like we always say, is a natural baby face.
Yes.
So like, to me, this, it was kind of hard to like cheer for like, or cheer against, or boo rather, any of these guys, because they're both in there wrestling like baby faces. So it's like, you can't really get the heat on Gargano. This was just a really good match. It reminds me, when Gargano was really legit, and when our old boy Andrade was legit too, like the match in Takeover Philly. It's just so many near falls. How many times throughout this match, whether it was, Kushida going after that injured arm, or even Gargano when he fought back, like the final beat, just when he hit it on the what do you call it, the stage or the ramp or whatever. Like so many,
like he hit it in the ramp. Yeah,
so many times throughout this match, you constantly think, oh, or like this guy's gonna tap out, or when he got the Gargano escape, and then Kushida, barely fought out of it, and he rolled him up, and there were so many near falls, and they had you, and that's like, I don't know about you, but me, there was at least 2 or 3 times where like they had me, where I'm like, oh, this is it, like, and then they lope. And then somebody reaches the rope, so they kick out at 2.9, and
and this is why, like I said, thank you, professional wrestling, because on a day like this, Valentine's Day, I chose to watch my passion rather than be doing other stuff. I will say again, the love for professional wrestling is an eternal and pure love because of these two guys. I remember how much I love wrestling seeing this match. The match started kind of like, right there, you see Gargano sending like candies.
Because when they were walking, like you had in that one picture, they're all like, oh, 1, 2, 3 the way. And of course, Austin, or they said,
right there, boom.
And then Austin Theory,
Austin
Theory was in the back, and he gets, grabbed and, yanked to the side by Dexter Lumis. So he took him out, probably so there wouldn't be any interference. Because of course, none of the women, or the women, they stayed out. So he was probably going to have Theory. So it's like Dexter Lumis kind of prevented that. But, which is fine, except with the, the ending that we got, it's not fine because I don't like Dexter Lumis' involvement in this. And speaking of this whole, involvement in the feud, do you think that, like, if you think about the feud itself and how it's gone, it makes this match feel less legit? Like, this match was so good, but the feud that accompanied it was really bad.
Yeah, well, the feud was really bad, Yeah, I gotta admit that, like, for what we got, but we mentioned this a few times. Sometimes the build is better than the match. This is one of the rare occasions that the match is way better than the feud. So at least, like, we knew that, like, everybody was calling this in the pre-show like a dream match. Everybody's like, oh, like Kushida and Gargano are going to be a dream match. It's easy, like, these guys are like at the top of his game, and Gargano is Johnny Takeover. Kushida, like, always known in Japan. So I just want to keep the match because, like you said, if I think about the feud, like you said, I feel a lot.
And even if I think about Gargano as a heel, before all this, like losing to Leon Ruff and all this other bullshit, like Gargano was portrayed like such shit, and then he wrestles this match, and he to me re-deserved the moniker of Johnny Takeover. So it's like, but it's like it came out of left field, and it's like, oh, okay, but is this guy going to go back to being a clown on Wednesday?
Hopefully not. Like, that's the one thing they should just like see this match and be like, this guy's way more than, he's more amazing than what we're trying to make him be. So like they need to just keep this match, or like at least the character like this, just having great matches, maybe like be more heel in the promo work, like just trying to screw people over, but not just like the way, like is a boring storyline, but focusing on the match. What a great stuff. Like you said, the arm was like the main thing. The frame thing, like Kushida injures like Gargano's arm really quick in the match, and that was like the main story. Gargano escaped, like he had like a few opportunities of that. Kushida having the armbar. Thank you for everybody that is joining. I see a lot of new faces. Thank you so very much. We're Road Break. This is NXT Takeover Vengeance Day. But like, don't you think that like at least the near falls were absolutely amazing?
Oh, that's what I mean. That's what sold you on the match. You honestly got sucked into it, and a match like this. It's one of those, like I said, for a couple minutes, a couple seconds, even you think like it's almost like a real contest. Like you forget that it's predetermined and they're working together. You think it's like, the emotions are running wild and it's going crazy. But, a lot of times where like Gargano would go to hit a move and Kushida got the, whether it's the arm bar, the hoverboard lock, whatever, out of nowhere, I was like, just tap, like instead of just when you watch a match on Monday Night Raw, you're like, okay, like, oh, here he goes.
We have somebody, John Tolo. We want to say hi. Thank you for giving us the chance of being part of our family. He says, What did you think about the pay-per-view? The ending was great, but it sucked and it sucked and it sucked. Man, it's almost like your father taking hugs in his rear end.
Well, I mean, if he means the whole pay-per-view, I thought the whole pay-per-view was good, but about the ending, I mean, we'll talk to that
We will
about that
talk
when
in
we
the
get
minutes.
there.
We'll talk to
But
it, John.
yeah,
Thank you so much. But
but I
like,
mean, I don't. It wouldn't be the direction I would go. Let me just say that for now. But we'll talk more in detail when we
yeah,
get
I
there.
feel that like no, actually, for what we see, like most of the time, and we see a lot of wrestling. I think it was pretty good. Like even like calling the matches. We see Wade Barrett. And also like Big Joseph. They seem invested. Beth Phoenix also like sound more in there. Like he sound more excited about everything. For example,
Yes.
in this moment when Kushida had the armbar and she kept going. Kushida kept going and going. For a second, you thought he was going to win. And that's the beauty of wrestling when you tell me a story that if I doubt in my head, because like you said, we were like, oh, Gargano's going to retain. But if I doubt in my own head, if I have a spare second, I said, man, maybe they're going to swerve it and going to give me something different. That's when you're telling a good story. And that was for me this match and this moment specifically, right there. Like Gargano, like I in a good, I'm not saying he's good wrestling ability. He's able to reach to the ropes. He gets the near for like right there. He gets the hold to be, stopped. So that was absolutely great. And you say like the arm. I like the whole story, like Kushida. I don't know, like to me, I would have given it to the match to Kushida just because of like the performance that they had. But like one final beat, like he actually took two of them, but the one in the ram is what started like shifting the match, don't you think?
Oh yeah, and then like you said, he brought him back in the ring, and he hit it again, but obviously Gargano was like really weak, get him set up on like, oh, maybe Kushida counter, maybe he'll get out of it. As soon as he hit the second one, it's like I threw my hand up like this bullshit.
Yeah,
but,
it's real.
and
Right here in this picture, Paul is like everybody NXT.
Yep.
Everybody as fans, we were reminded of how NXT is such great because of takeovers like this. And like I said, once again, this was a beautiful, great show. That's what I want to say. Yeah.
The only thing like I said, the only complaint I have about this match is Kushida didn't win. Like you said, they set up the story. Oh, he's not just fighting to prove how legit he is over here in America. He's fighting for his family, all that stuff. Like they got to sell it like that. And then he loses, and it's like, that's kind of shitty, especially because what we saw with Dexter Lumis, the past couple weeks and everything, we know they're just setting it up for that. So Gargano's probably going to lose to Dexter Lumis. So I don't like Kushida just being like a middle feud or
You
just
said like a
stepping stone.
You said
if
like
that's the case, I'd rather have him be going against Santos.
Oh yeah, well, like that, I would have much rather to see that. But like I said, thank you so very much one more time for commenting. Thank you, John. And like I said, Johnny Gargano retains. I feel that like I don't know. I would have given it to Kushida.
Yeah,
like you guys said, I would have given it to Kushida just because Kushida, deserves a championship. If they talk so highly about him, can you guys just actually repay him what like actually give him stuff? He's been injured for a few times, and now finally he's gotten like his.
Maybe
momentum.
They got to make him go through the Io Shirai treatment. Like you have to lose 10 title matches before you can win
and then,
one.
You get a legit run. And talking about Io Shirai right there, getting ready for her match. This is like Io is just at the top of her game. Io is just such a like Edge was saying about Finn Balor. I will say the same about Io. She's like in a different level than everybody else. The intensity and the performance that she had today, it was really, really great. So now let's go to the finals poll of like the Dusty Classic on the men's side. The girls' young veterans against MSK. I want your thoughts on this match because I was rooting for the veterans. I wanted them to win. They made it to the final last year. I'm like, can we get the win? They're Liverpool fans. They love soccer. Gibson, all of the legit promos. But no, of course they have to swear me like that. So let's hear it.
And speaking of Gibson, I love, it's like MSK, they come out to the ring at the baby face, you get the whole promos, the backstory, like Nash Carter, him and his father bonded over wrestling. It created his love. His father passed away and he said, this is going to be, now my dream is to become a professional wrestler. So obviously they sell the babyface story. So you get behind the guy, and Wesley to me is just, the biggest star and the best talent of the team. So they have that going for him. But I love when the Grizzly Young Veterans come out and like Gibson cuts the promos, and I love how he's just like, nobody cares about your story. You guys are bullshit. And he's like,
where's your face? Where are you smile of your faces?
I love when he always says soon to be recognized, and then he's like, whatever, as the the Dusty Road. Yeah, I mean they're legit, and I would have been rooting for them too if you didn't just put the new signee and probably the hottest tag team that they have. I'm not saying they're the best, but they definitely have the most buzz around them because they're new, and they, they did have fans on the internet and from Impact and everything. So
yeah,
they're the hottest young tag team in NXT, so they probably were gonna win this thing. If this was maybe the Undisputed Era or Ciampa and Thatcher. Maybe like if that was the finals, then I could have saw the Grizzled Young Veterans going over. But this was still a really good match. I did enjoy it.
Like I will say that like probably one of the things that like they got him to sign for the WWE were like, hey, we're gonna have the Dusty Cup and you guys are gonna win it. That was kind of like the hooks that they used to like get the Rascals to win. Everybody, again, one more time that is joining, thank you so very much. They were the original rule break. Here's a review from the NXT Takeover of Vengeance Day. So like there you go. You see that beautiful kick that like he did, like the Wentz did that. Wentz, like he's a really great wrestler. Like out of the two, I think Wentz is more agile.
Well, call him. You gotta call him Wesley, so the people who don't know Impact.
Oh yeah, Wesley. Yeah, there you go, Wesley. Yeah, Wentz. We watch too much wrestling, but Wesley, like really cool. And Gibson is such a good wrestler too. They tried for the Doomsday Device. I love that. Like they have like so many near falls also, and that's the beauty of Takeover, don't you think? That you have time to tell your own story. It's not rushed. It doesn't feel like, okay, it's 9:15. Yeah. Like you said, let's take it home, guys. Like ticket to make him and done. No, we actually have time to like do a lot of moves, get people excited, and people get more invested in matches like this, like that.
Oh yeah, this was great, and like pretty much like I said, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like Wesley's kind of like the star. He's just the more athletic looking one. He's
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, he's more. Well, I wouldn't go that far, maybe at least just yet, because I don't think they're going to split him up or anything. But he's the more athletic looking one. He's the one just more muscular. But at Nash Carter, he's the one. He's in there because the whole story with his dad. So of course he's the one who's selling, who's bumping the baby face and everything. And then he makes the hot tag. And I just think this team, just like the dynamic, they have it down. And this promo that they had now and everything, I thought was better than the Michael Jackson Tito reference from the other week. But I like how they said Grizzled Young Veterans even said before the match, like, oh, you guys are just flippy, you're bullshit, we're real tough wrestling. But the MSK, they went smash mouth tough wrestling, and James Drake, I think it was, who he hit like a moonsault or something. So they said that both guys kind of flipped their game to challenge the other one. So I like that. Like you said, takeover is where adapt, exactly.
You have to adapt to like that, like their full like their styles. That's what they had to do. Like you said, flippy on the one side, really like, tough on the other one, but like they still did the same thing. Like you said, like they were tough. MSK, you saw toughness in them, and also you saw from the Girls Young Veterans a lot of like flips also. Like they did also the Doomsday Device that always comes out great.
Wesley.
I think they tried, but it didn't hit it.
Well, Wesley, they had one. I don't know what like the setup was, whether it was almost kind of like a flatliner or like a spine buster, but then it was into almost like a code breaker, but on the back of the neck instead of like on the on like the front. So they hit that, and Nash Carter kicked out of like it was like a Kurt Angle, like a 2.9. I mean, it like the match. This was another one too, where I even thought during this, oh man, like I think they're gonna put the Grizzled Young Veterans over. Yeah, I was like, oh, they're going to do that by them, maybe make them the champs and then have them chase. But, in the back of my mind, I always think, what are the champs? The champs are heel. So, of course, you're going to have a babyface team chase them in MSK.
Oh, yeah. And like you said, like, look at this. Like, the guys are, like, right there. Finally, they get the win. They did also, like, a variation of that blockbuster that they do for the finisher. Actually,
I believe their finisher, like we said, I'm almost 99% positive their finisher is just called MSK.
MSK, yeah. And, but they remember they did it from the top this time. They didn't do it, like, bouncing on the ropes. And actually, the move that, like, remember we were talking about last NXT, that when he pushes him and he does the moonsault, this one came out a lot better because Gibson was actually down.
Yeah,
he didn't have to move. He was just waiting there. So like that was actually better. But like you said, MSK gets the Dusty Cup, so like they're gonna have a shot against Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. So probably MSK are gonna become the new tag titles, and that's fine because it's a consolidated team. And with this win, really great performance by them on for the days on NXT. Cameron Grimes, and that's the next one. We just got a promo by our guy. He has a lot of money. He got some stuff with GameStop. He sold the stocks. He's actually an investor now. He's a businessman. He knows how he makes money. So, and he had the picture like with like Matt Riddle or like Shawn Michaels, like posing right there by the pool with the money. Cameron Grimes is one of the best heels in professional wrestling. So underrated and so underestimated, and nobody really knows Cameron Grimes.
Yeah,
and I think a wrestling fan, and that sucks. But he has a lot of future, because he can play with whatever they put him to do.
Oh, definitely. And I think this is good because it's still the same character, but it's little, tweaks and turns on the knobs. He's still Cameron Grimes, but it's just like I said, a little bit of new flavor to him. He's back though, and it's a way, okay, let's get the pop culture reference in, current events, GameStop, the stocks and all that. Let's get it in there, but it also adds more heel to him because he can be like, yeah, I'm Cameron Grimes, I'm the best to the moon, but now he's also rich.
Yes.
So it adds a new staple to his heel character. And this is good to me. Like I said, if you're going to go the Dexter Loomis, you're going to go that bullshit route, then he needs to drop it eventually to Cameron Grimes.
Oh,
that would be the way and then please then let Kushida beat Cameron Grimes. But that's booking months and months down the road.
We're going to go hoping for SummerSlam.
Yeah, exactly.
Big news, family. We're going to break it for every single one of you that haven't seen the pay-per-view yet. Eli Drake, a guy, you remember the last time we talked about Eli Drake, Jean Paul was probably November of 2019. NWA, yes, when he was teaming with James Storm. So see, we have the memory, remember in the Road Break archives, he comes now as LA Knight. So can you have the rights for your own name? No, of course.
Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe, maybe he chose this. That's the one thing we don't know. And I'm sure with how crazy this name is, I'm sure there's going to be some report that says, "Oh, Eli Drake chose it, or this person chose it."
Trademark, to make sure. Exactly. It's all about money. It's all about how you promote the wrestler, how you promote your guy. But it's a really cool addition to NXT, especially let's say that what did we say last show? They're gonna fast forward Karen Cross. They're gonna fast forward him really quick to the main roster. So there you go. There you have another big heel, great skillful wrestler right there on Eli Drake. Or LA Knight. We're going to start calling it LA Knight. So it's good, and they show footage of him signing. So he's a really great addition for NXT. What do you think? We saw him in NWA. Great wrestler. And remember in the Impact days, big rivalry, triple threat for Bound for Glory. Eli Drake against Johnny Mundo and Alberto Del Rio. So, he's a good wrestler. I like the addition. I'm excited.
Oh no, this is good because he's another great talker. As a heel, he's not, he can wrestle like a heel, and he's a great promo. I would say, like we had said, who's probably the best promo in NXT? Finn Balor's great, but as a heel, we were saying Pat McAfee's probably the best promo, and that's kind of sad to say. But now I would say Eli Drake, he put his name into the hat. I don't know, because he's a great promo. So I'm excited for this.
As he's got in this promo, he was talking crap about Wade Barrett and the other dude right there. So he's like, "Oh, these two clowns" or something, and you see the faces. He's already us. So it's good. Eli Drake or LA Knight, great stuff. Great addition for NXT. They always know how to surprise. Another big boom news, breaking. Taya Valkyrie has signed for WWE, so she's going to be debuting on NXT most likely, or she's going to show up with her husband Johnny Mundo or John Morrison. So good stuff. So now let's move Paul to the next match that we have, triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. Io Shirai, Mercedes Martinez, and Toni Storm. I want to hear your thoughts about this because I thought it was a pretty decent match, but a little short for my taste. Maybe they could have add 5 minutes to it, but I don't know if the girls wanted to go that long. I don't know.
Yeah, this feud, I'd felt more legit to me if it would have just been the one-on-one match with either of these two women, if they would have built that up. But the feud, it was because the whole story of the match was Mercedes Martinez wanted to win the championship, but she also just wanted to, kill Toni Storm. Yeah. So Io would come in and she would swat Io away like a fly. She threw her over the barricade. It was get out of here. I just want to kick Toni Storm's ass. And then Io was to me, she was almost an afterthought in this match. I thought most of it was just Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm, duking it out. And it wasn't a very long match. Like I said, they did the openings, they jump-started it. Nobody wanted to wait for the bell, all the introductions, boom, boom, boom. Thankfully, it wasn't like what we saw in Impact in the X Division. They rung the bell right away. They didn't let it go for 10 minutes, and then, okay, now we'll ring the bell.
Yeah. Not TJP and Rajiv Rahul. He's in the channel, so you guys want to see it.
Yeah, exactly. But, this was really good. I like it. I like how both women, Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm, kicked out of each other's finishers. Yes. I do like that. So I'm hoping that because you saw, how I described it, where it was pretty much a singles match where Io would just jump in from time to time. I hope we see these two women feud, Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez. I don't think their feud's over because there really was no clear person to come out of this unless they're just going to drop it, which I don't think they should. I wouldn't mind seeing these two have a singles match, but like I said, they just hit the finishers on each other. And then what did Toni hit? She hit the diving headbutt, I think, on Mercedes Martinez, and then Io came in with like the moonsault. And that was
Oh
pretty
yeah,
much it.
no, yeah. See that, but like remember this spot, Paul? Like Io's, Tony's trying to go for the Storm Zero, and the table gave in right away. I don't know if you're looking at the table or you're looking at the cake. I'm looking at the cake, but
Wait,
like you know,
wait. There's a table in the picture.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. I see it now.
yeah.
Okay, I see it.
But like, see, like that's the kind of thing in wrestling that you gotta improvise. You know what happens? Hey,
hmm
those things
and
happen all the time.
and speaking
Right.
of that on the outside, there was the spot like the two main women of the story. Not neither of those two are the champion in this. They're fighting, and then Io, she sneaks up, climbs up I guess the support beam or whatever you want to call it, and jumps down on the women. So, but I mean that wasn't too bad because they weren't staring up there for 15 seconds. Like, okay, yep, you can jump now. She kind of like yelled, they looked up, and she jumped right away. So it was sold a little bit better. And you have that picture, the double stomp. And I do like when she hit, and I can't believe I know the name of it, and Wade didn't. She hit the spider suplex, and he called it like a German suplex hooked in the ropes or something, or like it's a spider suplex. But anyway,
Jean Paul knows.
no, she hit that. I mean, I guess a rose by any other name still smells just as sweet, but she hit that.
Every rose has its thorns. There you go.
Exactly. There you go.
There you go.
And, I mean, so that was legit, but then, like you said, it led to the double stomp from Io and everything. See, Io was just like a fly in this. It was the two other women. Io would just come in and bite you. She would just come in and, but Io knew when to strike, and that's the sign of a good champion. I know when to hit.
I like this picture though. Like, what do you think? Like the triple submission right there, because she's like Mercedes doing the dragon, and like kind of like Io is doing like the STF. Like this was good. I like this.
Oh
picture
yeah.
right there.
That's what I mean. I wish this match would have been longer. I felt like, they just hit all the big spots, and not that it was a spot fest, but it's like, oh, we wanted, like you said, this triple submission, the spider suplex, the jump off, the support beam or the gird or whatever the hell you call it. Let's, the table spot. That got fucked up. Okay, let's do this. It was all just the big moments, and then boom, right to the finish. There was, nothing really in between, which, I mean, I guess it was exciting, but like we said, just felt a little short for a match we were really looking forward to.
Oh yeah, man, and like you said, I mean, the ending was just like the moonsault. Like she came out of nowhere, boom, she hits it. Like you said, like she's a champion that at least, like you said, knows when to strike. That's the right word for that. 1, 2, 3, she gets the win. Io Shirai still retains, and I think it's fine because, like you said, maybe the next pay-per-view is going to be one of the two. It's going to be either Mercedes one more time or Tony one more time.
And this is what I'm going to say, Io. I don't know the contracts. I don't know when that expires. I don't really know what any of that is, if that isn't a deciding factor. But I feel like if she's going to get called up and it's going to happen soon, it'll be after WrestleMania. So maybe, that takeover, she'll lose the belt. Thank you, Io. There'll be the flowers, all the bullshit. And then she'll get, promoted to the main roster. But I don't really know. But, I am. Like I said, when we talked about on NXT, any of these three women, win, or in Io's case, retain, I'd be happy, and I was happy with this match.
Oh yeah, I'm happy with the winner. It's fine. I love Io, and Io's not ready to drop it, like you said, unless she's being called up. So good stuff. So now it's time for the main event. See how quickly it was. Just sort of for you guys, like it was like, oh, what was the theme song? No, the theme song. Remember, I botched it last time, so I just want to like redeem myself. Obey, and like bring me the horizon. There you go. That was the not the OB. No, obey. I'm probably been teaching me English, in the low key, so now I'm finally know how to not to botch names or anything. But let's go to like the meat and greet and potatoes, like Paul calls it, like the championship match, NXT to all the title on the line. Finn Balor against Pete Dunne. This was like more methodical for me. More methodical, not action packed, but like this guy's focus more on like the psychology of wrestling. More holds. Like kind of like Pete Dunne tried to snap the fingers throughout the whole match, and Balor kind of like didn't look as impactful or as like violent as usual, and even the speed wasn't even there. But despite of that, it was a good match.
Yeah, this was really good, and like we said, it sucks because it had to follow the Kushida and Gargano match. I'm sure there's going to be some people, oh, this match was way better. It was way more wrestling oriented, like you said, the holds and all that. If you're a fan of that old school British style, catch as catch can, all that, and which I am, then you should enjoy this match more. But I mean, maybe a little bit more excitement because I know these guys can go. They can have, that burst of stuff, which it did pick up towards the end, Balor, hitting all that, but in the beginning. But that's what these guys do, though. They're not going to be shot out of a cannon, from the start of the match and, be flippy and divey. No,
and I love this old school
busted out.
Don't you this? Doesn't it give you the vibe? It's like, okay, I got to watch this,
Oh, yeah, you got to dim the lights and do that stuff. And in a takeover, they've done that, I think, since day one on
Yes.
takeover. So I like that, it, like you said, it gives you that feel like a boxing fight or just any fight, MMA, whatever. But, in the beginning, yeah, like you said, a little bit slow, but that's what, you do in a real fight. You got to feel your opponent out. You got to know what they're going to do. What's their game plan
You
going
gotta
into this.
analyze it, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta like see what's going, what's
Yeah,
strategy
now the
gonna be used.
one thing I can analyze, especially from seeing these two guys, body on body, I think Pete Dunne needs to lay off the tanning spray. He looks a little bit like a former president of, so I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but he looks a little more, Oompa Loompa. I think a little bit too orange, but
Oh yeah, like I mean, like the only thing, like you said, like the match, like had like it took its time to really picked up. But I mean, I don't think it was bad. Like
oh
Don.
no, it was a great match, and it could have been a little bit longer. Like I said, maybe a little bit more exciting because the show, like I said to you, okay, I could see this match going to
45
9:40,
minutes, you said, yeah.
9:45, and the show was over and they were on to the next program at 9:34.
Yeah,
So you know what I mean. So I was 12 minutes off, and we even saw some foolery after the match. But this
yeah.
was really good, and I think it maybe didn't go longer, maybe didn't feel as special as the match with Kyle because that is an ongoing thing. As we saw what happened after the show, that's still going on, the whole relationship with Balor and O'Reilly and Undisputed Era. This was kind of a feud that was okay, this is a dream match, but we're kind of just throwing it together in like 2-3 weeks, which is a shame. But Pete Dunne I thought still looked really good. I just I don't know. I guess maybe it's because we knew he wasn't going to win. That's why we couldn't get into it as much. Where Kushida and Gargano, we thought, oh, Kushida's going to win. And then they had us and we're like, oh, that's what I mean. I didn't think Balor was in any danger of losing his title.
No,
So
yeah,
maybe that had something to
I
do with
mean,
it.
Pete. We've seen a lot best from Pete. Like a lot of matches are like more like drama full.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's more like focused on the drama. Oh, near fall. Oh my God. Here he was just trying to snap those fingers, and Balor kept blocking and blocking and blocking until finally towards the end he was able to snap them. And then Balor at some point he was almost done. Also, like he was actually taken out. Remember that spot that like the referee was checking out on him because he did a submission call, and it's like, oh, are you good? Are you good? Like right? Like you kind of had doubt that like he could continue in the match. But besides that, like everything else was like just like pretty much normal Balor. And like Dunn was like at least the bitter end kicking out from that was really cool. He did a nice bitter end on that. And like you said right here, like he was trying to just like do the snap of the fingers, all of that. But in the end, not even the coup de grace. He didn't get it. He tried for it, but I don't think he hit it.
No, he hit the coup. No, he did hit the coup de grace. Actually, that he hit him with that, but then he picked him up and hit the 1916.
1916, yes, yeah.
Yeah, so and I like that hitting both moves because it's like that shows like you respect a guy. You're not just gonna hit the one move, put him away. No, you got to hit. Which he interchanges them. Sometimes he hits the 1916 first, then the coup de grace. Sometimes like in this match, coup de grace, then 1916. But either way, he puts him away in a legit match and. I thought that was the end of the show. I thought, okay, it's going to be,
It retains, right?
and then it's going to be okay, NXT copyright, and then we go on to whatever. But no, we actually saw the boys, from Pete Dunne, which we didn't see them really earlier in the show come out to, maybe confront MSK. So I kind of was thinking they were going to come out here, which they did. Like you see in the pictures, they're beating down the champ, and we're like, who's going to make the save? Is it going to be maybe?
Oh, you knew who was going to make the save. You knew.
Well, I mean, I thought it was going to be maybe LA Knight. He would come down, get him over, and then he would grab the title from Finn Balor to kind of signify, okay, this is going to be the next feud or a feud that's going to be in the future. But no, it was Undisputed Era. They come out, like I said, it's like Hogan comes out to save Brett at WrestleMania. Like, don't worry, brother, I got you. That dirty Yokozuna. So he comes, they come out, they make the save, and Kyle's the first one to go to Finn, to go to Balor.
Legit? Are we good? So like they're all posing. They're all posing for like the Undisputed Era like poster and all of that. And then you see Adam Cole super kicking like Finn Balor right away, like boo. And then I'm like, okay. I was thinking to myself, hey, he's a heel. That's the next rivalry then. Right there is telling you who he's gonna go against. But then Kyle is like, what the hell, dude? What's going on? Why are you not legit? Why are you heel? And then boom, he also super kicks Kyle O'Reilly. So right there, completely like swerve, and that's the beauty of wrestling. And another one, beauty of NXT. When you want to tell a story and you want to tell it right, finally is the Undisputed Era done, Paul.
I really don't know unless the Undisputed. It all depends how they do this. If they do it where Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong are like reluctantly following Adam Cole, and then eventually they maybe break off from Adam Cole, then yeah, I would say it's done. But maybe Kyle O'Reilly's kind of the new leader, or maybe Finn Balor. Maybe because
Yeah.
Roderick Strong, he was kind of like, so like you see Adam Cole's already up at the ramp, but Roderick Strong, because he was like, let's go. And then Roddy was like, so like he didn't follow him right away. It wasn't like Roddy was in on it and was like, hell yeah, dude, super kick him again. No, he was shocked too, no pun intended, shocked the system, he was a little bit like, he didn't know what was going on. And obviously Bobby Fish, he has a close relationship with O'Reilly, being the team. So I don't know where they're going to go with this. It definitely adds intrigue. It definitely makes you want to see what's going to happen. Who's going to side with who. But I like this. And what would you think, though, if they made Balor the leader? Kind of like, because they're like, oh, the other show is doing a Bullet Club. We're going to do a Bullet Club.
Bullet Club. Like this is, because they've been interviewing Balor many times and they're like, hey, what do you think about like how long the Bullet Club has been existing, like how the longevity, and he's all for it. He even said like for Sports Illustrated like a few days ago, he's like, I want WWE to work with other companies and spread the wings, open the doors for the forbidden door, all of that.
You know what they got to do? They got to be like New Japan Bullet Club where like they had a shit ton of members. They got to bring AJ and Omos. I want to see Omos do the teams.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. So like we'll see what happens, but I mean that opens the door. Like it seems like the Undisputed Era might come into an end. So that maybe signifies two things. Either like, they're going to stay on NXT or some of them are going to be called up. Some of them will stay on NXT. I don't know, but like it's about time.
The only thing though I didn't like from this as well is like as great as their matches are, am I really going to have to see Cole versus Balor again?
Yeah, no.
If anything, I want to see O'Reilly versus Adam Cole now.
Yeah,
let me see. That's going back. That hopefully I'll pop at least one or two people watching. That's going back to like old Ring of Honor days. So that to see these two go against each other. So that'll be really cool.
Oh yeah, so like that's what it's gonna. Hopefully that's what it's gonna be. But you see, like the reluctancy on Roderick Strong is like, so do I stay with my bro or do I go with my other bro?
And to answer, and who was the comment? Was it David? Did you say?
Yes, John.
Yeah. Oh, John, excuse me.
Let's go with the comment one more time. Yeah. One more, John Tolo. There you go.
Yeah, because he said about the ending. To me, it's a little too early. I will say let's just wait and see. It all depends how they book it. If they book it bullshit, then this was the start of bullshit. But if they book it legit, then we can say, hey, this was a start of something good. So for right now, I'm gonna say I'll just let it go. But
I just feel it's time, so like they need to do it. Like I said, Undisputed Era, we've been saying forever, like they still feel stale, like the Dusty Cup, like they lost and all that. So they won pretty much everything. So what can you do to keep these guys fresh?
Exactly.
You gotta turn them. That's the only thing is like you don't have any more resources.
Well, yeah, because they kind of turned them babyface, and it's like, oh man, these guys are kind of bullshit babyface, so we got to turn them heel again.
Well, especially Cole is out of all of the four of them. Cole has personality; he could play both easily, but the other three is like.
No, I don't know. See, I think O'Reilly's good at both. I think Roddy is. He's better as like a heel, but see, Roddy's good as like that second in command guy.
Yeah,
like how he is, like
not much talking, more executing. I like that. Like said, O'Reilly, but O'Reilly, you haven't given promos. The only thing he got was Balor. He needs to have.
That's what I said. Now I think it's going to be him versus Adam Cole. That's what I think.
For example, like in just a quick thing. For example, what would you think? Karrion Kross against O'Reilly. You know what I mean? It's like a separate feud. I think he can prove himself with somebody else outside of Balor. So that will be okay.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can think, like you said, fast tracking, I would say after Santos, it's going to be Karrion versus Balor, and I think that's going to be the takeover match. And then I think that's going to be he loses, and then Karrion loses and goes up to the main roster.
Yep, and now we have LA Knight, or Eli Drake. So like this is going to be good. So family, thank you so very much for like being with us, for the subscriptions, for the comments one more time. Thank you for giving us an opportunity. Don't forget one more time to just please subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. We put content every single day. We did it all these 3 nights live for every single one of you.
These 3 nights or these LA night?
LA nights. LA nights. You know it. So where else can they find us, Paul?
And don't forget, follow us on Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, the original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the original Rope Break.
So family, next time that we see you guys will be for Monday Night Raw, more Elimination Chamber. Don't forget, we're going to have great coverage for the Chamber. Review. The preview is going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to be talking about history of the Elimination Chamber. Jean-Paul, myself, live on Saturday, on Facebook. So you guys can check us out everywhere. So you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...